Hey guys, we're back working on the flathead Ford V8 that came out of my parts car, 1950 Ford Coupe, Saving the Shoebox. In the last videos on this series, we managed to get the crankshaft and pistons out of this thing, some of the pistons in pieces, but now we need to start looking at the top end. And as you can see, it is pretty disgusting in there. The mice came up the road draft tube and this thing was full of mouse house. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to save this engine because of all this corrosion and grunge that's built up in the top end here. But since the rest of the engine looks to be in fairly decent condition, I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to clean this up. Thanks for watching. I don't know how far we're going to get with this in this video, but hey, stick around. I got another little potentially high performance trick up my sleeve that we could use on this engine. We'll look at that at the end. But it is Wednesday evening and we are where I should be on Saturday morning. The week has gotten away from me. I think what we're going to do here is spray some engine degreaser gunk in here. I've used this a little bit to try and clean things up. I don't know what effect it's going to have. I'm hoping that most of this brown crusty stuff that you're seeing in the top end of this engine is actually sludge rather than rust. So we'll spray some of this in and we'll go at it with a wire brush and we'll see if we can clean some of this up. Hopefully we can shovel some of this disgustingness out of here and see what we actually have to work with. Let me put you on a stand, we'll go at it with this and see what happens. Well guys, I don't know, I've been scrubbing out of here for about an hour and it certainly is doing better. I've got it soaked down really heavily with brake cleaner right now, see if that'll soften up any more of this sludge. And I think we're going to leave it sit overnight. I'll bring you back tomorrow, we'll see how much progress we can make here getting things apart. I did put a pry bar on some of those valve springs and they're not moving at all, which is not a good sign. But hey, we'll keep soaking it down and scrubbing at it, and hopefully the rest of this grunge will clean up out of here. Boy, it'd be nice to have a big industrial parts cleaner, but no room, and I think they're probably a little on the spendy side. We'll catch you guys tomorrow evening. Well guys, it has been sitting overnight, and things have softened up a little bit. We're a little bit frosty. This WD-40 stuff is water-based apparently, and it's a little bit stiff. You still are, the valve springs are still rock solid. But the sludge has really softened up nice. Get some of this grunge out of here. We're a long ways from being cleaned up. I don't know how well you guys can see down in there. Over here though, you can see it's got surface rust on it, but that is much cleaner than it was. I've thawed out my second can of degreaser foam here overnight. I am going to spray this around in here and get everything soaked down really good and continue scrubbing at it. I'll bring you guys back in a bit and we'll see what kind of progress we've made. This is going to be a big job. We're not going to get this finished tonight, and I got to start editing, so we'll see how much further we get. Bring you back in a bit. I don't know how well it shows up for you guys there or not, but taking this big pry bar in here and leaning into the valve springs, I've managed to get a couple of them to start to break apart. They should all be flexible like that. But these ones up here, oh, we got a couple more to break free. We got to break all the scum out between the coils. So at the very least, we can get the springs to compress a little bit. But wow, this thing is stuck. That is certainly taking a lot, but the fact that we are getting the cement-like substance to loosen up a little bit on these valve springs, that's good news. Let me keep working on this. I'll bring you guys back in a bit. Well, guys, I think we've reached the point where I got to shut it down here and start editing video. If you want to have something to see come Sunday morning. Part of me is a little disappointed with how quickly this is progressing, but part of me is also really happy. I've got all 16 valves. The springs are loose. The springs are all loose now. They were rock solid, like they were dipped in cement almost. But I managed to get them all so they'll at least flex. That's a big step in the right direction. Are we going to be able to salvage any of these valves? I don't know. But definitely we've made a little bit of progress here this evening. Stick around. We've got another thing to look at. And we'll catch you guys in the next mess. What do you figure, guys? Is this going to wake up a tired old flathead Ford V8? Follow along, we'll take a look at what we've got here. What we've got here is a supercharger, M90 Eaton supercharger off of a, I believe it's 88 to 93, or maybe it's 96 BOP or Buick Pontiac engine. This one, I believe, is off of a Pontiac, but they were all the same. Several people online have been modifying these to fit onto a 239 or 255 flathead Ford V8. It's a good fit because this was designed to work on a 3.8 liter engine, and a 239 adds up to 3.9 liters. I guess guys are also using these on like 5.3 or 4.8 LS V8s as well, but that isn't what I want this one for. When I first started doing research, thanks to Brent from Half-Ass Customs, I wasn't really intending on buying one, but I found this one so cheap that I couldn't really pass it up. This came from eBay. It listed it as a throttle body. That's probably why nobody was purchasing it, but absolutely the pictures showed that it included the supercharger as well. And turning the pulley here doesn't feel like the bearings are chewed up, and I don't feel any rotors clacking into each other, so we might have a decent supercharger here. Rebuild kits are available for these, $80 or $90, not outrageous. The big problem that we have is this was originally designed to be used on a fuel-injected engine, so we don't have a carburetor. All we have is a throttle body with some sensors. This is going to take a little bit of adjustment. This is a intake, an aluminum intake off of a flathead Ford, and you can kind of see that this opening is quite a bit different than this opening. That is definitely going to take some adapting. The other thing that we could do is make a base plate that this bolts onto, that lines up with the intake ports for the flathead. That would be fairly easy to cut out a plate with the same footprint as this and put it on the engine. I'm thinking that we'll end up basically unbolting the throttle body here and making an adapter plate that goes on here, goes around the corner, and then we can either put one or two either Stromberg or Holley carburetors that are designed to fit on the 3-bolt base. This is not happening today. Obviously, we've got to get an engine running before we get to the point where we're going to start bolting on accessories. But since this came in, I figured I'd show you guys, do a quick little overview. Thanks a lot for stopping by. If you got this far, give me a thumb up. Encourage me to continue with this little project. If you haven't already done so, consider subscribing to the channel. Love to have you come back. And we'll catch you guys in the next mess. Thanks for watching.